today we're kicking off on project management, on the course of project management. I'll be focusing more on a PMO, but for today, I'll be kicking off with some definitions about project management, just for us to be aware and to give us a kind of grounding within this wonderful course. Okay. So I will be using the Prince 2 methodology throughout my training, mostly. I believe there will be someone who will be teaching the Scrum Master, which is more of the Agile methodology, but I'll be focusing more on Prince 2. And like I said earlier, I'll be focusing more on project management from a project support point of view. So it will be more hands-on, what you need to know for the industry, for your day-to-day job, and what you need to be aware of, the key skills that you need, apart from you knowing a lot about project management, about the definitions, and what you actually need within the work environment. So if you are hands-on for the project support people, or PMO that we call them, and I know that I'll be talking a lot more about the skills. And I know from the last time we had somebody who gave you some lectures or some training on Excel spreadsheet, Excel on his own. But before I start, I'll just give you a definition. Because I said I'm going to be talking about Prince 2, what is Prince 2? Prince 2 is a structured project management method based on experience drawn from thousands of projects. Prince 2 itself, the 2 is the second version of this package, but the first one is projects in controlled environments. Like I've written down here, it was initially like the public sector based, which means that most of the public sectors were using Prince 2, but now it's worldwide. A lot of the private sectors, a lot of the companies are now using Prince 2 as a methodology for all their projects or programs. When I said it's generic and based on proven principles, so can be used across specialist areas for construction, IT, business change, research, product development. I mean, it can be used on the railway. You're going to want to. There's some railway companies at the moment now that are building new infrastructures. Some of them are using the Prince 2 methodology, which means that they go through different stage gates. They go through a particular, they go through various types of a form of method or methodology. We have the agile approach as well, which is mostly, which means that the project or the program will go through various iterations of testing. But I will not be teaching on, I will not be training on the agile process. I will be talking a little bit about it because you need it in your project management duties or environment. You need to be aware of certain things when you're supporting a program or when you're in a project management environment. But I will not be training extensively on agile. So what is project management? I gave two different definitions. I gave the definition from the layman's point of view, and I gave the definition from Prince 2. So the ordinary, I got this from the dictionary. A project is a unique, transient endeavor undertaken to achieve planned objectives, which could be defined in terms of outputs, outcomes, and benefits. So example of a project. We can say building a house. You want to build your house, that's a project on its own in layman's terms. So you want to build a house, so the finished product, the output is you having this lovely mansion at the end of the day, at the duration of the project. So what you are looking for, so what you have right in front of you, you have the plan of the building, you intend to build this 10-bedroom mansion, and that's your project. And once you start the project, there's certain things that you need. So you need money for your project, which is the finance, and you need to make sure that within Prince 2, because I defined Prince 2 earlier on as projects in controlled environments. Controlled means it's time-bound, it's budget-bound, and then you do not compromise on the quality. So which means that, so you want to build your house now, you've told your contractor, your builder that you want to build this mansion, 10-bedroom mansion, and your budget is about £50,000. So at the end of the day, the output of that project is a 10 bedroom mansion that your contractor has built, and that's a project in simple terms. When it comes to the environment, to the work environment, then there are various different aspects of the project. So you can have a project that means that you're trying to office move, so you're moving from one location to the other. That is a project that we have within the work industries across various different industries as well, whether banking, finance, transport, building, construction. There can be office moves. So a company like Balfour Beatty, for example, can decide, okay, we're moving away from Basingstoke and we're going into London. That is a project on its own, and they will use this kind of methodology to do the office move from Basingstoke to London. What is project management? Project management is the application of processes, methods, skills, knowledge, and experience to achieve a specified project objective according to the project acceptance criteria within agreed parameters. And I'll just explain to you, using the building of the house, the skills that you need. You need a building contractor, and the knowledge, the experience to achieve your 10-bedroom house, what they call mansion at the end of the day. So there are some various methods, the processes that you're going through. Are you going to use marble? Are you going to use cement? What are you going to use? So these are the kind of things that you need to understand, be aware in layman terms now on what a project entails. So from the Prince 2 point of view, what's project manager? Prince 2 defines a project as a temporary organization that is created for the purpose of delivering one or more business products according to an agreed business case. And Prince 2's definition of project management is the planning, delegating, monitoring, and controlling of all aspects of the project and the motivation of those involved to achieve the project objectives within the expected performance targets for time, cost, quality, scope, benefits, and risks. Going to my next slide, I'm just going through definitions at the moment, and I'll be talking a lot more about some, like I said earlier on, about some particular skills that you need. And as of next week, we'll go into project management proper, and what we need to do, what a project looks like in the work environment, hands-on experience, and I'll be sharing some either templates that you can use within your working environment. Hopefully you get a new job, and some particular things that you need to know. So there are quite a few project management processes that we have in the workplace or in the work environment, and one of them is monitoring, planning. Within the work environment, a lot of companies use Microsoft Project, the Gantt chart, for planning. But when you're monitoring, planning is carried out in the early stages of the project, but there should be ongoing monitoring to ensure that the project remains on budget and on schedule. So how do you make sure that there is monitoring? So you have this plan, you've done your Excel, you've done your Microsoft Project plan, you've developed this plan from the onset of all the activities or the tasks that need to be done within a project. How do you maintain and monitor it? You make sure that the tasks that you have written, or the milestones that you have put on your plan within the agreed date. So, for example, you have said, I'm going to build this house now to start on the 5th of January 2017. I'm going to finish the completion of the house on the 2nd of January 2019. So, which means that within that time, your £50,000 must be enough for you to start from the start of the project to the finish of the project in 2019. So that was what, so you need to keep on monitoring it. So the builder has said, okay, on this particular day, I'm going to bring in some cement. So cement is very crucial for the building of the house. And on this particular day, I'm going to bring in some marble. On this particular day, I'm going to bring in some pillars to set up the foundation of the house. So which means that if you have been given a date, so you told the builder to come in or make sure you deliver the pillars and make sure that you deliver the cement on the 5th of January, knowing that you're going to start the building of the house on the 20th of January 2017. If If the builder does not supply the materials that you need on time, it means that your date is going to shift to the right. It means that there will be a delay. It means you might spend some more money because you are actually initially decided that you're going to start on the 20th of January 2017. Because the materials have not been delivered on time, you end up pushing the date sideways to the right, which means that you might have an increase in date, increase in money, you might spend more money, and that is what project is all about. That's what monitoring is all about. Tracking to make sure that what you have said you're going to spend, you're not spending over. It's good to spend under, but you're not spending over. So you have to monitor your tasks. You need to monitor the people that are within your project. You need to make sure that even though you're trying to make sure that you have you're finishing your project on time, you'll make sure that the quality of what you're trying to do is not compromised. You want this 10-bedroom house that is solid, full of marble, good quality cement. You don't want to build a house and the next couple of days it crashes or something happens or it sinks or it goes sideways, that we see some houses right now. So the quality of your product or your end product must not be compromised. And that's in simple terms, in layman terms, what a project is all about. I'm starting from this definition because before we go into what you do within the working environment, you need to understand the basics from a layman's point of view, what a project is, what is project management. It's so easy and so simple, but when you're hearing about it and you don't understand it, it might seem a little bit difficult. You might be intimidated. But I'm here to make sure I work with you for you to have a good understanding. If you want to go into a role, from day one, you know exactly what you're doing. You know the skills that are expected and required of you, and you can hit the ground running. So that's my responsibility on this project management training from a PMO point of view. So control. There are no projects without problems, but the project manager needs to control them so that they do not adversely affect the end result. The control phase also deals with risk management. I'm not going to go too much deeper into this at the moment, but you know that when you're running your projects, you need to make sure that you have some risk analysis. So for example, going back to my building, of the 10-bedroom mansion, if you're going to start the building, so what, for example, what if the contractor, the building contractor falls sick, or the building contractor, something happened to him and he could not deliver your product? What happens? It means that you might not be able to start on the 20th of December 2017, which means you might end up incurring more money. You might end up needing to go in for another supplier whose prices might be a bit more expensive. So you need to be able to articulate all these risks before you start your program or your project. And the reason why you need to articulate them or you need to write them down is because at least you're aware of them and you can have some actions in place before you start your project. When you have the action in place, when this problem arises or when the problems arise, then there will not be a surprise to the organization or to the job or to the task that you have in hand. You will have had a mitigating action to say, okay, let's, for example, I've told Mr. J to be my building contractor. He's going to supply the goods. How are you going to make sure that you get the goods yourself? Are you going to make sure that you have a driver and a van to go and collect it? These are the mitigating actions for the risk that you have got. But you cannot run a project without knowing the kind of risks that could be involved. You know, you're trying to build a house. You don't want it to be snowing all the time. The builders cannot come to site. You don't want it to be raining all the time. The builders cannot come to site. So these are the kind of risks that you have to write down that you need to be aware of before you get to your end product. So that's why you need to make sure that you're in full control of your project. You're in full control of what is happening. You're in full control of what you have embanked on or embarked on. So to make sure that at the end of the day, you're still within project, you're still within budget. At the end of the day, you're not spending too much money. And at the end of the day, the quality of what you're trying to produce is not compromised. Communication. In project management or project manager or PMO person, a business analyst, communication is one of the most important things within the industry. You can imagine if the building contractor did not communicate to you that oh, I can't deliver the project, or I cannot deliver the building materials. What happens? Nobody knows what is happening. You're stuck in a rut. You can't move forward. The project can't move forward. But when he communicates, you know exactly that you have a line of action. You step into action. You can either get somebody else to do the work for you. At least you have a plan in state, and you're able to. What if you don't have a builder at that particular time? You're able to say, at this point in time, I'm not wasting any more money. Let's halt this project at the main time until we can get a new builder, or until it stops snowing, or until the weather forecast is a lot better. So that's one of the reasons why communication is key, both verbally and written. People management, that's the role of the project manager within project management. So project management is mainly for the project manager, for example, because he is one of the main key players within project management. He oversees the individuals within the team. So he oversees the business analyst, he oversees the project analyst, he oversees the finance analyst. He makes sure that all the stakeholders, the customers are really happy. You know, so for example, I'm the one building the what's it called now? The 10-bedroom mansion. My suppliers, the building contractor, I'm one of the stakeholders. Yeah, I have to have meetings with them so that I can always make sure that what they're building is in line with the CFO that has been produced there, in line with the plan. I'm not looking for. I've told them I want a boat house, and they're giving me a ship house. They're two different things. So there has to be communication throughout the timeline, or the phase, or throughout the duration of the project, to ensure that what you have requested, what the stakeholders have requested for, is actually what they're receiving. What they have written in the business case is what actually is they're receiving in reality. And that's that slide. So we have some phrases within project management, and I know that I will encourage people to do a lot more reading. There are quite a few books that you can read. Managing Successful Projects is a good book for you to have, either as a PMO person or as a project manager. It will help you in the line of your duties, and it will help you as a reference point. And if you're going for the exams as well, it's a good book for you to start reading, for you to have your Prince 2 exams or Prince 2 certification. So I will send the slides out to everybody once at the end of the course. Once I've updated them with all the other slides, I don't want to send them in pieces, and I'll send it for everybody. It will just be like a tool for you to read. But I encourage you to do some more reading before you go in for exams, or whilst you're planning to get into a job. I will encourage you to have the book. But I'm available for you to any questions that you have during the time that we're having this training. I'll be able to help you as much as possible. So that after the training, I'm confident that you'll be able to get into a role, or a PMO role, and hit the ground running. The PMO role is somebody who supports the project manager. They're very crucial and very important in the industries nowadays, because the project manager have now realized that, or they know that the work can be very tedious, and for a project manager or program manager to be able to focus on managing the stakeholders, managing the expectations of the stakeholders, they need the support. So the support person has to know a lot about project management, has to know every single thing that the project manager knows. The only thing that the support person will not do is to manage the overall project. But in the industry that we are today now, a lot of companies are expecting that the project manager and the project support person will be able to step into the shoes of the project manager just in case anything happens. So you're equally as important as the project manager for you to be able to understand certain things within the project environment. I'm not going to bore you with all these definitions. I wanted to go straight into I'm going to send this out to everybody. And the core components of the project management. There are 7 Prince 2 processes that have been identified. Starting up a project, that means you have this idea in mind. I want to build this 10 million pound 10-bedroom mansion. Directing the project, initiating the project, controlling the stage, managing project delivery, managing stage boundaries, and closing a project. I'll be going into this further, but today is just an easy talk through simply about project management. I'm not just trying to bamboozle you or try to daze you. I want you to go to bed and have a nice night's sleep. So just a simple introduction into project management, just to give you a heads up. And right now, I'm going to be speaking about the skills that you need as a project support person and as a project manager. So there's some skills that you need, and I will be talking off the top of my head for the work environment. And like I said, today is an introduction to it. I'll be dealing with them in much more detail as they cost through the duration of the training or of this project management course. So one of the key things that you need as a project support person or as a PMO person, as a project manager, is good communication skills. You should be able to communicate with your stakeholders. And when I say communicate, I mean you should be able to talk to the very senior, like a CIO or CEO. The way you speak to your own colleagues is different from the way that you communicate with the CEO. You have to be diplomatic. You should be able to engage them, ask them questions, and also within the communication, you should be able to say in very diplomatic ways when something is wrong. You should be able to challenge. Communication, you should be able to challenge. Oh Lord, I don't think that is right. I think you could have done it this particular way. I think you could have done it this particular way. You should be able to communicate. You should be able to challenge. So communication is very, very key if you're going to be a PMO person and if you're going to be a project manager. There's some soft skills that you need. When I mean soft skills, I mean some of the Microsoft Excel suites that you need to get yourself familiarized with. I will not be training you on those, but I expect you to do a lot of homework on being able to get yourself up to speed with Excel. Excel is very crucial, especially for a PMO person, because you use it in analyzing data. You use it in all your risk logs and issue logs. I will send you some copies of some examples of risk logs just for you to keep them as templates, not today, but as the course or as the training progresses. So Excel is very crucial. You need to be able to use Excel. So if you don't know how to use Excel, I will encourage you to go in for a training. There are quite a few videos online on YouTube from the beginning, as a beginner, intermediate, and an advanced user. Sometimes you may not be an advanced user to get a job, but at least you should be able to know pivot tables with our trainer, the Excel trainer, taught us the other day. You should be able to do some simple pivot table for you to be able to analyze data. You should be able to do some easy summations, be able to add up some rows, be able to insert rows, delete columns. You should be able to do that as a PMO person. So if you don't know anything about Excel, I will encourage you to brush up your skills on Excel. Another key Microsoft tool that you need is PowerPoint. You use your PowerPoint slides for reporting, use it for organizational charts. So you should be very conversant with the Microsoft project, with Microsoft PowerPoint. It's a very important tool for reporting, so you need to be able to know a lot about it. And like I said, with the Excel one, if you're not very good with PowerPoint, Excel, there are a lot of videos with pictures, with diagrams that will be able to help you gain a lot of experience. Another tool that you need is Microsoft Project. You use Microsoft Project for your plans, to plan. You can't run a project, or you can't manage a project. You can't support a project without project plans. And project plans is, okay, you decided to build this 10 million pound house. What are the different stages? Who are the different people you're going to meet within that time? And they're all time-based. So you need to ensure that the times that you have agreed with, that your baseline times, you've not missed the date. and if you're about to miss the date, at least they're being escalated to the senior management for them to be able to make adequate decisions on what to do on the next line of action or next steps. Another tool, so planning, I'll go more into a bit of planning as a PMO person, and also a bit on project management. These are the key tools that you need to be aware of. Also, you need to know a little bit about Visio. Visio mostly they use it for mapping or organizational charts. I will show you a little bit on the course of this training, but I will not be training you on Visio. I will not be training. We use Visio for organizational charts. Like I said earlier on, I will be giving you some examples. I will be sharing some examples with you as well, just for you to have them as your just to have for you to keep them in your library. Another tool that you need is Sharepoint. Most companies use Sharepoint as their for configuration management, which means they use it for document management. They use it to keep all the documents, all their finished products, all the documents that have been signed off are kept within Sharepoint. Some companies use Sharepoint to manage their risk and issues. So I would expect, I will not be training you on SharePoint, that will be for a different trainer, but I will expect you, or I will encourage you to read up about SharePoint and to make sure that you are very conversant with SharePoint as a document repository and also for configuration management. So today, like I said earlier on, we'll be going very easy today. I'll just be introducing you into it, but our main focus on this training will be more for PMOs, senior PMOs, but I will be touching on project management and the project manager, because I always encourage people, if you're going into project management for the first time, I encourage people to start as a PMO person, as a support person. It gives you a better feel, especially in the climate that we're in now. A lot of companies, there's a stiff competition. If you go in for as a project manager, a lot is expected from you, especially if you do not know about the industry. So I always encourage people to go in as a project support person. You'll be able to shadow the project manager, because you'll be working hand in hand with the project manager anyway. You'll be able to shadow the project manager, and you'll be able to get a lot more experience, and that will help you to develop or to advance into any project management role. Especially, you need to identify the industry that you want to be in first. For example, if it's the banking industry, I would suggest that you go in as a PMO person, learn a lot about it. Within 6 months, I'm sure you learn a lot in 6 months. You'll be able to do the work very well, and then you can progress into your project manager, role. And what other skills do you need? You need to be able to Excel. You use it a lot for, I spoke about Excel earlier on. I'm going back into it because you need it for your risk and issues. I will be sending some templates to everybody in the course of this training, so you have a feel, an idea of what a risk template is, what a risk log is, what is an issue log. Also, one other thing that a PM or project manager must be able to do, must be able to write processes. You must be able to say, okay, this is what I did from the beginning of the project to the end. So you should be able to document it down. Some people call it mapping. If you're going to draw them in shapes, you should be able to write down a process from the beginning, saying, okay, I'm going to start the house now. I'm going to mix the sand first. So you have to write that down as a process. I'm going to mix the sand first, put in some water, make sure that I mix the sand and make them into blocks. Once I make them into blocks, dry them out for a couple of days, and then I can use them for the building. So that you should be able to write processes. So, and that's why I said your communication skills, written communication skills, needs to be on point. In simple terms. Secondly, what you need to be able to do is to be able to manage your budget, track your budget, be able to know how much you're spending. Because if you don't track your budget, the CEO of the company has said, okay, Laura, I give you £1 million to be able to make sure that this office moves from Basingstoke to London. And if you don't track your budget, you end up realizing that you spent all your money and you still have not completed the project. So it's very, very crucial that you're able to manage and track your budget. How do you do that? Mostly within the working environment, you have what you have forecasted for. So forecast means, okay, for example, I've decided I'm going to use 5 different contractors from the start of this project to the end of this project, and the 5 different contractors will be earning about £250 per day. So you have that your forecast. So you have 5 contractors, they'll be earning £250 per day, and they're going to be doing the work from the beginning of the project to the end of the project. But the actual spend is, you realize that when you went into the market, you could not get a good contractor for £250. You had to employ people at £350 per day. So your actual against your forecast or your budget means that you're overspending at the moment, and you need to be able to manage that very carefully. So at the end of the project or at the end of the program, you have not overspent your money. Today's going to be a very quick one. Like I said, I wanted to give you a few introductions. I wanted to talk about the skills that I want you to start reading on, or start studying on, or start learning that will help you within project management. But next week, I will be going a lot deeper into what project management processes are. I will be going deeper into each of the various different starting up of a project. I will go deeper into it, directing a project, initiating a project, controlling a project. I will be able to tell you what it means, what you need to know, and what you need to know within the working environment. Because sometimes you have this fat book, 600 pages, and it's not every single thing within the fat book that you will need within particular industries that you get employed, or that you're working in. So as from next week, I will go a little bit deeper into be able to talk more about the different stages, the different processes, what you need to know, what you don't need to know, what you need to be able to do within the working environment, and what you don't need to do. Also, as a project support person, you should be able to manage stakeholders. I've already said that. You should be able to manage the change. You should be able to manage the change process. I will be talking a lot more about this and be diving into them, or delving into them a lot more deeper, to be able to give you a lot more information about what you need to know as a project support person, a PMO person, as a project manager, to be able to manage a change from the beginning of the change, from the time that there is a change request, or from the time that they notice that there's a change up to the implementation stage. I will be able to give you more information on what you need to know, and how you can manage this going forward. So that will be it for today, and today is a very short one. Next week, I think we'll be doing 8 to 10 o'clock, and I'll be delving into a lot more detail what project management is all about, what you need to know. It will be a hands-on. This is going to be a hands-on training, so it will be everything that you need to know for the working environment. Everything that you need to know that will help you on day one, and that you go into any establishment to be able to get a job. And it will also help you. The training will also help you to be able to answer definite interview questions that will land you and your dream job within project management or within a PMO. So before I leave, are there any questions at the moment? Is there particular project for people to get involved? I think there will be practicals. I think I need to speak to the principal of the establishment, because I know they said there will be some groups. So I think that is a yes, but I think we'll be going a lot deeper. So get yourself prepared. We'll be covering waterfall. I'll be giving you some pointers on what you need to know on the agile methodology, and yes, the waterfall, which is mostly the Prince 2 methodology. Yes, we'll be covering them. But like I said, my own role is to be able to educate you or to train you as a PMO person. So yes, we'll be covering the waterfall and the agile methodology as to what happens in the workplace. What books can we read upon? I said it earlier on. Managing Successful Projects is a very good book that you can read. That you can read. That's the one I know for now. That's the one I practically use, to be honest with you. So, any more questions? So are we covering both waterfall and agile? Yes, but I will not be training you on agile. I think there is somebody that has been scheduled to train Scrum Master and more about going in depth into the agile methodology. But I will be speaking about the agile methodology because yes, you need that for the workplace. You need to be very aware of what happens within an agile environment, within the work environment. Any more questions? If there are no more questions, please have a nice evening and get prepared for us to go a lot more deeper next week by taking each of the various processes, each of the various phrases, and looking at them on a deeper level and understanding what we need to do in the work environment within these various different processes and phrases, and how we can be able to understand our involvement as PMOs or project managers within these phrases. So have a good evening and goodbye.